So, as I was explaining earlier, I was talking about how the person who delivers service or who provides goods or who provides essential commodities, their religions have never mattered to us. In advanced countries of the world today, in most cases, many people really do not care the region or religion of the persons who are in charge of many things. They care only about effectiveness, efficiency, and delivery. But if you come back to Nigeria, there is a challenge. The challenge is that at every time, every point in time, we are always stuck or we are always, caught in this encumbrance of people thinking about the religion, background, not necessarily even personality of the persons. How did we get here? It would not have mattered if the religion or tribe of whoever wants to lead us is A or B or XYZ. It would not have mattered. But certain events in the history of Nigeria, especially in recent history, have caused Nigerians to not only be panicky or suspicious or paranoid, but even want to reject completely the idea of same religion tickets. In this case, Muslim Muslim. I'll open I'll put a link in the chat, and I'll that link is the link to join me. I'll stick it that link in the chat. I want to hear opinions and let us have this conversation. Some of the recent histories have included suspicious moves by some elements who claim that the country belongs to them, and that whether by jihadists or other kinds of activities, they want to make sure that they hijack the country. That's one. Also, we've seen how terrorism is spreading under guise of religion. The Owo massacre at the church is still very fresh in the hearts. The memory is still very much around. Just as we are still receiving more threats, that Akure is also the next target. Ondo State seems porous already, and perhaps that's where they're coming in through. Even when there was a Christian vice president, as we still have presently, there are still threats of religious superlords. If you go to the Muslim north, or just say north, the application of Sharia, in addition to Hisbah, police, and the rest, you see that somehow laws relating specifically to religion are more effective than the constitutional laws in Nigeria. All of these pose threats and constitute fear. There's apprehension in the minds of many people down south. Consequent upon that, Nigerians are asking question. Why should you say that we should not worry about Muslim ticket when even as we have Muslim Christian, many Christians still do not feel safe with so much threat coming from those who say they are Muslims, and there is not much happening on the part of the government to abate or allay fears of Christians? Should it matter whether candidature has to be same religion? Should it not matter? Well, maybe it should not have mattered. But recent events are really scary. They are bearish signals and they point to a whole lot of things. That is calling to question whether it's worth it to say, let's leave it, it doesn't matter. Nigeria is a secular state. Government, therefore, should also be secular, should follow the pattern. But here we are. We first have to think as our region, as our ethnic, before we then move on to discuss, to think as our religion. Unfortunately, we do not really even look at competence anymore. Nigerians are not asking the question, what will a Tinubu Shetima government mean? Nigerians are asking, what will a Muslim ticket mean? That is the low we have dived or we have ebbed as a country, where we have to think about the religions and not think about the competence or their delivery or ability at delivery. We have reached a stage where 2023 is telling us something, that we might be having election on basis of ethnicity and religion. And whereas we are not running a church, nor are we running NASFAT, we are talking about government, and we are not expecting to have an imam rule us. We're not expecting to have a bishop lead us. At any rate, the events today at the unveiling of Shetima also became not only curious or worrisome, but also was and I saw it signaled desperation on the part of APC. Now, two things are playing out. Tinubu believes that he has grip of the Southwest and therefore should not worry about whatever religion he is. He believes that all he needs right now is just to make sure he gets somebody from the north who can pull the northern crowd or northern voters for him. That's all that Tinubu really cares about right now. So Tinubu doesn't really care whether the religion of the person is Islam, Christianity, or IFA, that is the indigenous faith of Africa. For the northerners, questions arising include, would you accept Christian? The answer is obvious, certainly a no. For them, religion is more important, even when we all know that nobody is really entirely Muslim in their life. Because if you look at their lifestyle, you know that they are not necessarily practicing Islam. But for formality's sake, that is what they have, and that is what they are, and that's all they are about. We then need to begin to ask questions. Gentlemen and ladies, do you care? Do you care that your president is a particular religion, even though we all know that it's just for formality's sake? We have other candidates who are not using their religion as basis for campaign. There are other candidates who are not even laying claim to either Islam or Christianity. There are other candidates who are busy selling manifestos. Right now, Nigerians are not even asking what candidates have to offer anymore. They're looking at one, does he have the money to mobilize us during election? Two, is he from my region? Three, do we practice the same faith? Nigerians are not, when last did you hear somebody ask, what does this person have to offer anymore? I have also seen pictures today of Mr. Peter Obi visiting Bishop David Oyedepo. Now, it is the season of appealing to the religious sentiments of people. That is the season we are in. Because if you saw the way that they went to hire some bishops to attend the unveiling of Shetima today, you will understand that religion has a very big role to play in voters' life in Nigeria. Pastors are now speaking up from the pulpit, and most of them are talking about how the person who wants to come must appeal to their community or constituency. When do we think is the time that Nigerians will start thinking and talking about competence? It looks like it's still very far. Because if you go on social media and study the quality of conversations we are having, all the candidates so far are trying to appeal to two things. Number one, region. Number two, religion. Mention any candidate who is from the south, who has not first gone to north to go and pick running mates. Just one, mention. And mention one who is of a particular faith, who is also not shopping for candidates of the other faith from the other region. What this simply implies is that if I am candidate A and I want to contest, I must go to the other region, and I may have to sacrifice competence, qualification, and pick somebody on the basis of religion. What are we sacrificing? Again, competence. Where will it lead us? Unfortunately, we can't overlook it. Everybody wants to win. So, because everybody wants to win, they have to sacrifice competence and just pick anything and anybody. The same way they are busy renting bishops. We shall have to win. Quite unfortunate, right? Now, let's take it to the important parts now. Indigenously speaking, are Nigerians Christians and Muslims by faith? Speaking indigenously, are Nigerians Christians and Muslims by faith? If your answer is no, then you understand that we are still practicing organized foreign religions, and largely people are still using it to deceive themselves. So Nigerians still have identity crisis, even as citizens. They do not really know who they are. For instance, many people actually practice indigenous faith of Africa, but they are too afraid to say it in the open because everybody is looking for validity, looking for acceptance. You really can't come out to say, oh, Onifanimi. Even if you had admitted it in the past, the moment you want to step in politics, For fear of being tagged fetish, for fear of being described as anything you do not, that may lead to your rejection instead of acceptance, you want to claim the acceptable religion, both of which are foreign. So it's just a question of formality. And I believe this is the best time for practitioners of indigenous faith to start taking the front row. If you practice it, I really want to see a situation where people of indigenous faith will step out, maybe organize a press conference, express their disagreement and displeasure at how official forms, for instance, do not contain indigenous faith. Only contains, if they want to fill form, they only provide boxes for you tick Christianity or Islam. And then they say order. What do you mean by order? Why should the original one be the order? Why should the indigenous one be the order? That's one. Secondly, why must they always look for Christians and Muslims in when it comes to filling or occupying public offices? Why do we only look for Christians and Muslims? It's time to begin to assert themselves. I mean, these practitioners of indigenous faith. This is the time to start to assert yourselves. Except you truly want it to go into extinction. Otherwise, it's time to assert yourselves. Step out. Ask for what is yours. You also want to be recognized. You also want to be able to, with your full chest, come out and say, this is my religion. I've seen instances where people will step out, they carry their Bible, and the moment police sees that you're carrying a Bible, they let you go. If you carry Quran, they say, oh, Alaji. But if you carry anything that is your own, they say it's a weapon. What is the Bible, for instance? If I'm reciting, or I mean, Psalm 21, what am I simply doing? And if it's an incantation, what's the difference? But because people of the indigenous faith have always taken the back seat and refused to assert themselves, they are taken for granted. As unfortunate as this is, we do not even know the danger that portends for Nigeria and its future. 2023 is here. People will be voting for religion and ethnicity. Mark it. So rather than vote on basis of religion and ethnicity, why not just allow people to self-govern, allow self-determination, let everybody govern themselves? Because if you go online, you see the highly toxic atmosphere. If you see anything, they say, oh, it's their own. There are places where if you mention Peter Obi, they say Atomuriwa with the damn one. If you mention Tinubu, they say, yeah, that's our own. Forget all these online things. The people who vote, go and see them on the street. Even as much as they are rejecting Tinubu in Osun State, the same people who rejected APC in Osun State are still saying Tinubu is, however, their choice for presidency. And if you ask them why, they say that's our own. So who is not your own? The same thing if you go to the east, southeast. Except we want to deceive ourselves with, forget social media. Enter streets. Enter many places in southeast. It's about Peter Obi, and there are no two reasons about it. The same reason the noise about Nnamdi Kanu has gone down and has reason for Peter Obi. Unfortunately, so it will still be largely an ethnic election in 2023. That's what it is. It's still going to be. So why do we fool ourselves? The only reason many people in South will be shopping for alternative, and not many of them, by the way, will be because Tinubu chose a Muslim running mate. Yeah. That's the reason many are still contemplating, how can he do that? No, but we're Christians. Oh no, but he's a Muslim already. He should have chosen a Christian running mate. Those are the that's the only reason many are still contemplating whether they can say support him anyways. And that's what's also prompted the question that, excuse me, do we really care? Do we really care the religion of the person if we can trust, or we can be sure we are guaranteed of performance, efficient delivery? No one is talking to me about how Tinubu can better Nigeria. No, don't show me Lagos. I'll tell you Lagos is already a failure. You know why? Given the level of resources and borrowings, that is not where Lagos should be. Yeah. At least, even if it is just 60% of what is borrowed and revenue generated that is spent on Lagos, Lagos should not be like that. So don't give me the template of Lagos as manifesto for Tinubu. Unfortunately, people are not even talking about that. Tell me what a Shetima, presence would also mean other than fear, because people are afraid already. Somebody was analyzing the facial gesture of Shetima today and said, this guy looks wicked and is already scary. Tinubu himself, they said, is arrogant, proud. Say, Olule. Languages that are not assuring, languages that sound selfish. So when you now pair those two together, and they are even of the same religion and do not even care what your feeling or emotion is, it's just like saying to hell. That's what it sounds like. See, I don't care. All I care about is, as far as I have the north, my presence in the southwest alone clears southwest for me. And that's why people are tipping that Atiku may be having bigger chance in 2023 election. And here's the reason: that Tinubu and Peter Obi will be sharing the south. Atiku largely because the level of ignorance in the north is more. People don't really look at manifesto or the competence or anything. They just look at their own person or who looks like them on the ballot, in which case is Atiku. And that's the fear that is making Tinubu also go for a Muslim candidate, not just a Muslim candidate in the north, one believed to be strong enough that will allay the fear of the north and assure them that they are still the ones in power. Now, another conspiracy theory that Tinubu is not expected to even last. I don't know why people should wish anybody dead, but of course they are doing that considering his age and health. And then Shetima, is tipped to be the acting president, meaning that power has not necessarily left the north. Whether power resides in the north, south, east, or west, aren't we all just looking for good delivery of governance? And why are we not sure about getting it? Nigerians really are not sure about getting governance. And Nigerians are also not even looking that corruption should stop. What I study that Nigerians are really looking for, as I study it, is that they just want corruption, the corruption to be in their zone, in their region. They're not necessarily looking for the corruption to end or stop. They just want it to be in their own region. At least let it benefit us. We know that nobody is going there to do anything, but at least let it be our own brother. Sha. At all, the little little is better than nothing. That is how lowly things have helped. Unfortunate, if you ask me, but that's what it is. Gentlemen and ladies, in case you're watching, you're unable to comment, or you're unable to call in, or you're unable to see it live, you see it later. I want to know what you think. But I've just told you why people are rejecting, those who have rejected it so far. Muslim, Muslim. Should it have mattered? My name is Shegun Olo. I want you to see and listen again to information. It's highly beneficial information. And you can ask me about it afterwards. You can ask me about it. You can ask me about it afterwards. Some of you have my number already. And by the way, for those who really want to support but do not have the information, we are looking at before end of this week to assist Mubarak's father. The last thing he's asking of us, let's just do it, please. I'll appreciate it. He just wants us to help him buy a tricycle. We already have about 170 or 450 we're looking for. So we just need some 280 to balance and pick the Marwa, the tricycle. So please use the information on your screen to reach out. We want to help him buy the tricycle so that I can get back to work. It's not been working since the incident happened. I mean, shortly after the incident happened, where police shot his son at Command bus stop in Meron. Some of you are familiar with the story. You know, we assisted him to repair the tricycle he was using before, but no sooner had we repaired it, the owner retrieved it from him. So he has not been working since then. Now we just have to assist him whatever we can. So we just want to get him in Marwa to assist him. Okay. We want to get him in Marwa to assist him so that I can get back to work. Adex legacy. I'm employed. I'm gainfully employed. It's not for me. And those who are familiar with the story already know the story. And once we get it for him, once we are able to buy this, to purchase it for him, we definitely will show the video like we always do in every other case. We will show the video and pictures of how we give it to him. We will also make him appreciate all of you who assist him on camera. And then, Alex, have you done anything to assist anybody before? Because I understand many people have never helped in their life and they are the ones who are usually quick to condemning. I understand, and I understand your background and your position. Now to the last information I have. I shall be resuming soon on site because there are only few slots left for the Abbey Homes and Properties at Ibejuleki. I mentioned it before that if you are looking for an investment to do, that the future of investment, not only in Lagos, not only in Nigeria, perhaps in the entire West Africa, is Ibejuleki. And there are reasons already playing out, as I said before. International airport is there, Dangote refinery is there, Lekki Deep Sea Port, Atlantic beachfront. Everything that makes the place open up is there. So the only thing that people really need there is accommodation because it's going to be generating over 500,000 direct employment. And that's where you can lock in. So you may want to check this opportunity out in the video I'm playing as I close now. My name is Shegun
Please
Olo.
meet Mr.
Bye for now.
Abiodun Akinyemi, a man who is looking to solve the big chunk of the housing crisis that we have in Nigeria by making affordable, self-sufficient homes. This kind of homes are becoming more and more popular, by the way, because they are efficient and they are environmentally friendly, and then it costs less to make them if you think about it in the long run. Anyway, before I tell you about the smart homes that he's building, let me tell you a little bit about his story. He's based in Canada right now, and he decided to build a house in Lagos, Nigeria, where he's from. But upon making inquiries, the cost of building a house has increased significantly since he moved to Canada. So instead of using concrete brick throughout his construction, he substituted it with laterite, and he was able to save 30% of the construction cost. Laterite has a lot of advantages, by the way, including warming your home during the cold weather, cooling your home in the hot season. It's cheaper because it's readily available. It's everywhere in Nigeria. It has high clay content, which means it can hold more water. Laterite gives you better air quality. So if you build your house with laterite, you can breathe in better air quality. You can even recycle it. So if you build a house with laterite and you don't like it, you can break down the house and use the brick to build another house. And that's just to name a few of the advantages. He didn't stop at building his personal house. He decided to make his house self-sufficient, off-grid, which means that he's not going to be dependent on the electricity from the Nigerian government. So he's using solar power, and he's also not going to be using power generator, so there will be no noise, no air pollution. At the same time, he's not using the regular sockaway that everybody uses in Nigeria. He's disposing his own waste material by decomposing it, and he's generating his own water. So once the house is completed, he doesn't need anything from them. And this is why they call this home self-sufficient, off-grid homes. That alone inspires me. The fact that he was able to find an alternative to just spending so much money on building a house. And the fact that he doesn't have to depend on the government, he made himself a self-sufficient house. That is the inspiration for me. But then he took it a step further. So after learning from his own experience, he wants to do the same for others, except that he wants to do it better. If you see the picture of the house, you may not be too impressed by the aesthetic, but he calls it the experimental house, because what he has decided to do is to now mass produce this kind of house for other people. In case anybody out there is interested in having a house that will be self-sufficient, he has bought acres of land in Lakwe beachfront in order to construct an off-grid estate. And what you guys are seeing is what he would be constructing. All these houses would not be using NEPA, and they will be constructed with laterite bricks. If anyone is interested, he's looking for 10 people, just 10 people to start out. The price starts at 34 million naira for 3 bedrooms, and you can pay in installment. He has a contract readily available, readily prepared, which you can share with your lawyer, know if that's a good deal or not. I mean, some people may feel like that's a lot of money, but it's a one-time payment that you no longer have to worry about electricity bill. You no longer have to worry about paying them to empty your sock away and stuff like that. It's a one-time payment that you know that from beginning to end, you know your house is complete and self-sufficient. Anyway, I asked him, by the way, I said, what if someone is interested right now and they decided to pay you, and along the way they decided they're no longer interested, they don't like what they are seeing? And he said to me that your money is refundable, as stated in the contract. He said he will give you back 95% of the money, and the remaining 5% is for administrative charges. He's using a system of interlocking bricks instead of the traditional style of construction. And this system results in a house that is 10 times stronger than traditionally built house, and also more terminally efficient. Each home would have its own fire system and will be conveniently located by a fire hydrant in order to make it easier for fire crews to help just in case of an emergency. We'll be building common areas that will have a gym, a playground, swimming pool, ball courts, grocery stores, and so on and so forth. And more importantly, the houses in his estate will reduce global warming and human carbon footprint. So guys, if you're interested, please check him out. This is his website.